If you're from Richmond, you've probably heard the urban legends about Madison Middle here behind me being haunted. So with Halloween approaching, WBON-TV came up here to talk to some students who did research themselves about the potential hauntings here.
So what's big man Joe Staley doing? He's celebrating a touchdown he didn't score. The odds of a guy like Joe scoring a real touchdown are the same as 0. Worming his way out of here.
So we've heard rumors that there could be some hauntings going on in this building. Can you give us a little bit of background on that?
Yeah, there's definitely a history here. Previous to this becoming Madison Middle School, it was Madison High School. And previous to Madison High School, it was a all-girls finishing school just prior to the Civil War era. In the 1850s, after the Battle of Richmond, this was a hospital for both Confederate and Union soldiers. And many people died here in that process. And some people attribute that era of time for the spectral nature of the stories you're going to hear. 1940s roll around, there was a teacher murdered on the 3rd floor. Mysteriously, never fully investigated, no one was ever apprehended in the matter. Room 306 in particular is supposed to be quote-unquote haunted. I'm a little skeptical about it, but I do see where people find the stories. And then on the 4th floor in the 1950s, a cheerleader died under very violent circumstances. Now, the only instance that I can think of that I can say there was something I couldn't explain was once I was up on the 4th floor rather late at night working on a project, and I did hear some laughter that kind of grew into a crying, weeping sound, and I could never find the source of it. It was a little creepy, but I'm a scientist, and scientists investigate, and I believe there's a logical explanation, although it was unsettling, and I never found a source. Last year's Halloween edition, we did a pretty good research project on it, found quite a few little stories. The Civil War battleground thing was a good one because you had so many Confederate and Union soldiers who died here. See, the students literally were the nurses and the physicians who were taking care of these soldiers. So they would come here when they were wounded, and if you were shot during the Civil War, if you got a gunshot wound during the Civil War, you probably weren't going to survive. And that happened a lot right here. They're still a part of the foundation of the original structure in the sub-basement of the building. Super creepy down there. But yeah, that history is quite a bit alive here at Madison Middle today.
I looked into some hauntings and I found a lot of ghost stories, and I found the one where the girl died and the cheerleader died. But I decided to tell a story that my 6th grade language arts teacher told me and told all of her classes every single year. And it's pretty creepy. It's a story that another teacher told her. It was late at Madison Middle, and there was like no one there except for the janitors who were like finishing cleaning up the school. And the teacher was just working on homework, trying to grade homework and do stuff teacher-wise. And she had heard some lockers slam like outside, so she went to go investigate, and she stepped outside her room and there was no one there. So she stepped back in, and a few steps later, she heard the lockers slam again. And she checked out, and there's nothing there. So at this point, she was pretty creeped out, so she decided to pack up her stuff and try to go leave. So she walked outside into the hallway, and she saw this red blur run past her and into a classroom. So she went into the classroom and found this little red-haired boy that seemed to be a 6th grader because he was so small. So she asked him, "What are you doing here? Is this an after-school thing? Did you miss the buses? Do you need to call your mom?" There's no answer. "Do you need me to call anybody? Do you have a ride?" No answer. So she started to like back away a little bit and wanted to go down the hall. Then this kid lunged at her, so she ran away, and the boy was never seen again. There's always like this scary element here that I kind of feel a chill sometimes. No area really specifically, it's just I'm walking around and I just feel like a chill that came out of nowhere. Even when I'm warm and it's like the summer, I feel chill.
I believe that there's been some stuff at Madison Middle. My mom believes in ghosts, and so I kind of, I go off with what my mom says. Since it's been a hospital for soldiers for the Confederate and the Union, and there's a lot of people who died here, I believe that there's probably activity of ghosts and stuff at the school. You know, the lights would just like flicker on and off, and some people just say that that's like an electric problem. But other people would say like, other people believe in this kind of stuff too.
I done research, there wasn't really much on there besides like the teachers and how the teacher died or the cheerleader. And like then been always all these stories about like you can still hear the soldiers walking. There's like this, I heard Martha is a ghost here. My brother told me this story before I went to Madison Middle. And how it happened was like, they always said like a kid was acting out and like he said he didn't believe in Martha and a clock fell on his head. And another one is like I heard someone said they like called Martha and then their nose started bleeding. I kind of believe in ghosts, but not that much. I think some like kind of legends of ghost stories always has some truth in it. So I believe at least some of it's real and some of it's not. Like I heard the auditorium, you can hear like say students whacking the back of the chairs, and you can hear somebody might whisper to you in your ear if you're all there alone. So I think if you might see a ghost, you have to be alone in the school and like just by yourself, and it's gonna be like after and it's all dark and kind of creepy like that.
It seems like there might be some validity to these stories with Civil War hauntings, dead teachers, and even a dead cheerleader. For WBON TV here at Madison Middle, I'm Marissa Hempel.